Today I want to share with you some of the messages I've received from people who are going through very difficult situations related to infidelity. These are real stories, filled with doubt, pain, confusion, and a deep attempt to understand how to move forward after experiences that have affected them in very significant ways. My intention is to accompany these processes with clarity, respect, and tools that can help each person make more conscious decisions. If you're going through something similar and would like to send me your question, you can do so at the email address in the description. The first one is a message from Cristina from Mexico, and she tells me the following. Juan, about 2 weeks ago I came across some messages between my partner and another woman. They weren't explicit, but the flirting was obvious. When I asked him what was going on, he told me he was just playing, and that it didn't mean anything. Since that day I can't sleep, I've lost my appetite, and I feel like I'm living with someone I no longer know. I don't know if I'm overreacting, if I should leave or wait. Honestly, I feel completely paralyzed. This was my response. Cristina, the first thing is to recognize that what you felt when you saw those messages is valid. When something shakes us that deeply, it's not an exaggeration. It's a sign that an important personal boundary was crossed. Before thinking about what to do with the relationship, it's essential that you check in with yourself and ask honestly what this kind of flirting means to you, and whether you experience it as a form of infidelity. If the answer is yes, then that is a boundary you shouldn't cross or minimize, because it's part of your emotional well-being. From there, the healthiest step is to have a clear and direct conversation with your partner, explaining how you felt, what you need, and what boundary you are setting. His reaction to that conversation will give you a lot of information. If he's willing to listen, to validate your pain, and to respect what matters to you, then you can try to rebuild from new agreements and observe, calmly, whether his actions match what you discussed. But if he minimizes, avoids, mocks, or simply refuses to respect that boundary, then you need to consider whether this relationship can give you the peace and respect you deserve. Fidelity, as each person understands it, is one of the most sensitive agreements in a relationship, and when there's no alignment on that point, sometimes separation becomes an honest and necessary option. Thank you for your courage in sharing something so painful. I truly hope you find clarity and peace in this process. The second message I want to share is from Susana from Lima, Peru, and she tells me, Juan, a year ago my partner was unfaithful. We decided to stay together, and in theory everything is fine, but I can't trust him. Every time he goes out, every time his phone rings, I feel a knot in my stomach. He tells me it's over, that I should get over it, but I don't know how. I feel trapped between what I want and what I feel. This is what I told Susana. Susana, what you're experiencing is a very understandable reaction, because even though you chose to continue the relationship, your mind is still trying to process something that deeply destabilized you. When trust breaks, it's not enough to say it's over. Your thoughts keep looking for signs of safety, and that's why the tension appears every time he goes out or his phone rings. At this point, it's important to distinguish what depends on you and what doesn't. What's in your hands is identifying clearly what you need to feel calmer. Maybe a more direct conversation, clearer boundaries, or asking that your process be taken seriously and expressing it openly. You can also observe how you feel day by day, how your emotional state changes, and whether living together becomes more stable or more tense. What's not in your hands is controlling his behavior, his reaction, or his willingness to repair. That part belongs to him. And while you work on that with your partner, it's just as important to work on yourself in parallel. This means taking time to recognize your strengths, accepting your weaknesses without punishing yourself, defining clearly what you're willing to accept and what you're not, and building routines and connections that help you feel supported by more than just the relationship. It might mean returning to activities you enjoy, reconnecting with people who are good for you, or organizing your days so that everything doesn't revolve around the uncertainty you're living. If you don't do this internal work, you risk falling again into the same emotional dependence that has you on alert today, and that would leave you vulnerable to any shift in the relationship. If after talking you notice that he's willing to listen, to respect your timing, and to act consistently with what you agreed on, then you can try to rebuild from a clearer place. But if what you receive is pressure, minimization, or urgency to get over something that still hurts. It's also valid to ask yourself whether this relationship can offer the stability you need. Thank you for trusting me with something so sensitive. I hope you find clarity and well-being in this process. The last message I want to share is from Patricia, from Caracas, Venezuela. Juan, I was unfaithful. It wasn't planned, it wasn't something I was looking for, but it happened. My partner found out, and since then we've been in a limbo. I want to repair things, I want to stay, but I don't know how to do it without sounding fake or desperate. It hurts to see him like this, and it hurts to know what I did. I don't know how to start rebuilding something I broke myself. And this is what I told Patricia. Patricia, what you're going through is a very heavy mix to carry, because besides the pain you see in your partner, you're also dealing with guilt, shame, and the feeling of not knowing how to repair something you caused. When infidelity happens, there's no perfect sentence or immediate gesture that fixes everything. What you can do is start by taking responsibility without justifying what happened and without trying to speed up your partner's process. What's in your hands is being clear, transparent, and consistent with what you say you want to rebuild, and that means answering his questions calmly, having uncomfortable conversations when they arise, and showing through your actions that you're committed to real change. What doesn't depend on you is how fast he processes what happened or how he reacts at each step. That's his path, not yours. At the same time, it's essential that you work on yourself in parallel. This means examining what led you to cross that boundary, recognizing your weak points without punishing yourself, identifying what you need to avoid repeating patterns, and defining clearly what kind of relationship you want to build from now on. It's also important to rely on routines, connections, and activities that help you stay grounded, because if all your effort goes only into repairing the relationship, you may end up losing yourself in the process. If after talking you see that he's willing to listen, to express what he feels without destroying you, and to participate actively in rebuilding, then you can try to move forward step by step. But if what you find is absolute rejection, an inability to talk, or a dynamic that hurts both of you, it's also valid to consider that maybe the relationship cannot continue after what happened. Thank you for opening a space to talk about something so painful. I hope you find clarity and a path that allows you to be at peace with your decisions.
Click the link and access the library of therapeutic books.